Good morning, and welcome back to Rejects and Friends Sub-Zero 2023 Benefiting Planned Parenthood. My name is Liz the Wizard, and I will be your host for this morning. It's great to see everybody in chat. Thank you, Minnie, for raiding in. We're excited for your run later. It's great to be here supporting our runners in their efforts as they try to do things as speedily as possible and as fun as possible, as we have some great active incentives going, not necessarily for this run, but for the many runs being featured throughout the day. As a reminder, the donation link can be found in chat by selecting !donate and to select an incentive if you are choosing to donate. And I dare I say you're not going to want to miss the Great and Mighty Pooh. I didn't know what that was, and I'm sure many of you are curious. And that would be our most upcoming incentive. I'm also very excited to introduce our first run of the day, one of my personal favorite Legend of Zelda games. Papers will be starting us off with the All Child Dungeons category. This run features attempts to collect all 3 spiritual stones, open the Sacred Realm, and then snag the iconic Ocarina of Time without performing any glitches. So I'm going to pass it off to Papers.
Alright, thank you very much. So, yeah, this run, I think we'll just start, and first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the intro skip file. This isn't necessarily a requirement for the run, but we will be going ahead, and I guess I should just give the countdown.
Go for it.
3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the first thing to do at the start of every single run is simply to go and get Sword and Shield. That's pretty much a requirement for almost every category, and we will not be an exception. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an absolutely sick backflip off the balcony here. I'm going to collect some rupees. So the first thing I guess to talk about in the run is the prerequisites for every dungeon. So every child dungeon, so that being the Deku Tree, Dodongo's Cavern, and Jabba Jabba's Belly, all have prerequisites to get to them. So for this one, fairly low stakes. You just have to get the Sword and the Shield to get past Mido, who's being a bit of a miser and not letting us go past. For DC, you need to get Saria's Song from Saria, of course, in the Sacred Forest Meadow, and for Jabu, you need to move King Zora and also get a fish to open Jabu's mouth and enter Jabu. Outside of that, there's a couple extra things we have to get for soft requirements. So we also have to get Zelda's Lullaby and Zelda's Letter, not only to open the gate to get up to Death Mountain, and we also need Zelda's Lullaby to open the domain and allow us to get the Silver Scale so we can get the letter so we can get to Jabu. I hope you all followed that, because I'm speaking quite quickly here.
I know I did.
Now the first thing we're going to be doing here is a trick that I'm apparently not very good at. Get that. But that's a trick that, had I actually performed it, is known as Bridge Clip. For some reason that's allowed in Glitchless, but don't ask me why. And I guess another glitch that's technically allowed is Power Crouch Stab, which we're about to demonstrate soon. This is the glitch where if you jump slash or use any item and then crouch stab, your damage value of the crouch stab will be the same as the last item you used. This is pretty broken, but for glitchless sakes of it's impossible to verify runs without actually having the glitch, we'll still be performing it. And sure, maybe someone would say that's still a glitch, but it's kind of hard to verify anyway, since it requires finding out every moment that you crouch stab in the run. So for the purposes of keeping Danny's mind at ease, it's allowed. Now before we enter the Deku Tree, we're just going to get a Deku Stick from this barrow here. And now there's normally a cutscene, and there's a cutscene that will play here. Now if you jump slash into this cutscene at a certain speed, you can get a little extra distance, which allows you to enter the Deku's tree's mouth slightly faster than normal. Or not enter the mouth, but it moves you a lot further in the cutscene and allows you to save a little bit of time. But now the Deku Tree is going to tell us that it's really important to save the world and get in here, but Link really just wants that Ocarina, so we're going to keep going, but I guess we'll help this guy along the way.
Surely he'll be around after, too, right?
Surely. Big old tree, surely you can't be dying of something.
Yeah, no.
Now this Baba gives me his nut, and I run over to this area here, and Navi tells us that we can climb vines. Shut up, Navi. I've already played Zelda. I know that I can climb vines. Now, if you do a side hop there and enter the door trigger before this Navi also yells at you that you can open doors, you can skip that. That saves about a second or two, but it's pretty annoying to do, and I didn't get the right angle to do so. You can also skip getting the ceiling shot completely, but that requires a pretty finicky setup in Dodongo's Cavern to skip the two light switch puzzles there, which I don't really want to do for the sake of it can cost a lot of time, and I'm also not very good at this game. Now that we have the slingshot, there's only one thing left to do in the Deku Tree, and that's go and defeat the boss Goma. And in order to do that, we need to head all the way down the dungeon. But there's a big web in the way, so what we're going to use is we're going to use the power of gravity to force ourselves to break that web. Fortunately, this spider doesn't seem to want to cooperate, and I should really be focusing.
You know, it is called Rejects and Friends. He just wanted to be included.
Yeah, I think it's always worth shouting out at spider then. Now we're using that here to stop that guy from hitting us, and oh dear. Normally you jump on the web and it breaks, but this time I was unfortunate enough to get a bad angle and the web did not break, which I have not done in a while, but it's an unfortunate one. Why the web? Because that's how we get to the boss. There we are. Now we're going to do another trick. This one's pretty precise. This is known as B1 skip. Normally, you have to go through a couple of rooms involving a little Deku Strub who tells you that you'll never defeat his friends. And I missed the frame down. I'll do the old Strub. So normally that trick's frame perfect and requires it's a pretty precise angle to do. But in this case, we did not get it, and I'm instead going to do this backup. That's a pretty odd strat. This saves about a minute in the run because you no longer have to do the E5B1 area, although I'm losing all that time because I can't do this. Okay, there we are. Jump slashing there, you can get a weird jump slash where your Deku stick will clip into the torch, well not clip, but it will go to the torch's flame and it will light. That saves you having to do a whole puzzle with the block and getting the torch over there. Now we defeat the scrubs without even knowing their secret. How incredible. And now we enter boss Goma. Now if you were paying attention earlier, you'll notice that I do a jump slash here. With the Deku Stick, for some weird reason, the game decides that it has a damage value of 2 for its slash and 4 for its jump slash. This makes the Deku Stick as powerful as the Master Sword. And now, with that power, we will defeat Goma very quickly. Normally this fight is pretty easy anyway, but with this we can simply one-cycle it without too much work. And there we are. That was the first boss of 3 dungeons, and in a ripe time of only about 8 minutes. Now, if you have any donations to make, now's an excellent time, because we have a 4-minute cutscene coming up.
4 minutes.
Or something like that. I don't normally time it, I fall asleep.
We do
We
not
should probably
currently have
also
any
take note.
donations.
Oh dear. Well, I suppose you can listen to the brilliant music. Also, take notes, because a lot of this is very important for the game. And all of this lore about the Demon King and evil, you will very much be following and certainly won't be ignoring the other part of this being relevant to the plot.
I will remind everyone during this time, as we see the lore from Ocarina of Time, that we have some active incentives going, as well as an active poll for Twilight Princess later on, as to if they should finish the run wearing the iron boots or not. It does look like we have one in the lead, but you never know.
I hope there's an incentive for also wearing the magic armor while also having the lantern and the iron boots, or I'm going to be really disappointed.
I know. You know, if Beast, as he's running 100%, wants to indulge us, I think that might be possible, as he is going to be racing 100% against 2 any percent runs back to back. But it is not one of the current polls. I personally would also love to see that.
Good reminder now that if anyone needs to get anything like food or water, the cutscene's almost over. You should have done that a minute ago.
You've already should have gotten up. Please return so you can keep your eyes on the screen at all times, hands and arms inside the roller coaster. I'd like to see a
Now we
People
get a
City
small green stone.
with Link.
Now we get the first Chaos Emerald. Wrong game, never mind. Now we have some dramatic text, and leaves are falling. Oh, he's dead. Well, maybe we can save him. And now after that really touching cutscene, Mido calls us a jerk for killing a tree. Which is really unfortunate, because that's the last time we're going to see Mido. I think that's kind of rude. Now Link uses one of his amazing abilities, which is walking backwards faster than he walks forwards. And now we've got another cutscene. Boy, I hope there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Now with our silly woodwind instrument, we can play cool songs. But for some reason, we can't just learn the songs by playing random notes and finding out. We have to have someone teach us how to play it. To do that, we need to go to Hyrule Castle and talk to Zelda. She's got a really important thing that we'll need. She can open the door of time to save Hyrule from threats and things. Before we do that, we have to deal with the true final boss of this game, the one that no one, not even the developers, know about. It's this owl. You know his name. And his distinct ability to make it really irritating. Now we have Mark II of showing what Link's amazing backwalk ability, where we're going to go all the way to Hyrule Castle without even seeing it.
Get a nice little view of Hyrule Field here.
Before we enter Hyrule Castle and talk to Zelda, we need to get someone's floating spare change off of these rails. Using such change, we can go buy a very important item. Kind of like the slingshot, this one is theoretically skippable, at least in the context of this run. It's the Hylian shield. The only reason I currently buy this in the run is because the keys in Dodongo's cavern are fire keys, and I really need that shield, so losing it's really unfortunate. So, with that said, I'm going to take that. Now, next up we have to get an egg. But first, we have to look at Hyrule Castle, look around and see how wonderful it is, and leave. Well, everyone's gone. Voila, an egg.
I think this answers the question of which came first.
It indeed does. In both circumstances of this game giving you an egg, both start with an egg. That's a neat little jump slash there to skip going round. That just saves a tiny bit of time of day and makes doing this a little more safe, or a little less safe, but it means that you can arrive to Malon, or Talon. Is it Talon? I can never remember. It's Talon. Arrive to Talon slightly faster, and have a little bit of time of day to start moving the crates before he wakes up. Oh no, he's asleep. I wonder what could possibly stop him being asleep. What I have are some nuts, a stick, a slingshot, and an egg. What could possibly be useful for that? Holy crap, my egg turned into a chicken. Now with that obstacle removed, we can now move to the bane of every runner's existence. The courtyard. You see, these guards have perfect 20/20 vision and never seem to have any day where they can't see well. At least for me. They also seem to be very good at pulling a sword. That has not happened before. Now we get to meet the Princess of Hyrule, Zelda.
Papers would now be a good time to read a donation.
Now would be an excellent time.
Perfect. We had a $10 anonymous donation. Thank you, anonymous. And they said, "Go Papers and Liz," with a lot of exclamation points. Thank you.
Appreciate that donation. Sure Planned Parenthood will as well. So now we're getting more of the lore of Hyrule and why it exists. And why we have these random, I suppose not random, but why we have these three ladies roaring into the heavens. This explains how the Triforce exists, but that's not really relevant to the run, so I don't know why this cutscene is playing.
If you had to choose between Din, Faror, or Nehru, who would you pick?
I would pick for Raw because I'd be able to wrong walk my way home.
Makes sense.
I just have to make sure I'm not grossly out of bounds. Now my chicken turns into a letter. Not the weirdest thing that's happened, but it's certainly one of them. And now this lady will teach us how to play Zelda's Lullaby, which is weird because Zelda just talked to us. Why can't she teach us her song? Now, after being taught that silly song, which we'll use once, she now tells us that we should go to Death Mountain because we need to go and buy, or I guess we need to go and free the Gorons. Now, as everyone knows, the Gorons can't eat the rocks from Dodongo's cavern because a big boulder's blocking the entrance. And this raises the everlasting question, why don't they just eat the boulder?
That's not a boulder, it's a rock. Perhaps it wasn't seasoned well.
Needed a significant amount of granite in it in order to make it suffice.
Exactly.
Now there's a lot of cookers around in Kakariko, so if you're following closely, you want to be careful, because they might kill you. And now this guy laughs at us for having a letter, which is kind of rude. And then he tells us about how we should really go visit the Happy Mask shop to go get a mask for his son. You know what, since he's being so rude, maybe I won't.
I'd love to understand what he's saying.
I don't know the whole lines, but I do know that the last line is sigh.
Ah, sigh.
Talking to the guard for an extra time was also good luck, so you should do that. Now we backwalk up Death Mountain because we don't like looking in front of ourselves because it's really scary. Oh my god, a Goron? That guy likes hitting you off the trail if you're too far to the left, so you've got to be too far to the right for him to be able to... I got my directions mixed up. I meant the right.
One of those.
Yeah, one of those. Who even needs directions? He just knocks
So,
you off the trail if you're on the wrong side. Now we play Zelda's Lullaby to let them know that it's really important and we need to get in. And now that we've played Zelda's Lullaby, we're going to talk to Darun now. Except we're not. We're going to take his fire and leave. Just like Prometheus.
just like Prometheus. That's great.
Now we open this little pathway which takes us here to the Lost Woods, where we will talk to the owl again, and I will remember to select the right option first try. Now we're going to do some really interesting and varied movement, which is definitely not stuff that we've been doing for decades. Now there's a pretty tricky fight coming up right here. Watch out, he might get you. We can also get him, so there's that. One day I'll get that jump slash. Now we head up this trail, backwards of course. Why would you want to look any other way? And we meet this random person. I wonder who this could be. Sacred Forest Meadow playing Saria's song. Oh my god, it's Saria. Now we're going to do a save walk. This is because there's an owl outside the Sacred Forest Meadow if we were to head back the normal way, and this makes it actually faster just to save walk instead of going and trying to avoid the owl. I think it was last year, but we had a glitchless flow, and there's a sort of glitch you can do with opening weapons, where if you cycle between using the sword and the Deku Stick really quickly, you can interrupt going over the owl's text box, which allows you to skip it quite rapidly. Now, with the changes that we had last year, I don't know if that's allowed, but that would mean that there'd be a couple skips you could do just to save a few seconds. But they're really annoying to do, because that's a lot of effort. Now here, we're going to backwalk, and we're going to go back to Goron City, because we have to make Darumia, who is currently being very miserable, happy again. Now we just fortunately learned a hot beat, which means that we can make him feel happy again. What a hot beat. Now we can do a sick flip and land right next to the bomb. And when this goes off, it'll break the boulder, and now we can enter Dodongo's cavern. Now this beggars another question. The Gorons already had the Goron bracelet. Why don't they just use it to throw a bomb to open up Dodongo's cavern? If you backflip there while the bomb's going off, you can sort of just get a tiny little bit of distance there, which saves not a lot of time, but it's just like the jump slash prior to the Deku tree. It's a little time save. The little things that count as well. Now we come to a really scary room with 2 keys. Now we come to the much less scary room with 2 Alphas. Now normally these guys kind of fight in 2 phases, where you have to defeat the first, you have to do so much damage to the guy, then he runs away, then you fight the other one, then fight him. But using Power Crouch Stab, you can do exactly the right amount of damage so that you can only defeat them in 1 cycle. Like that.
Very
Now we're going to get the 20 rupees in that pot. This might not seem significant and just seem like a waste of time, but there's a mini-game coming up that we have to watch out for, because in that mini-game, we have to spend 20 rupees to play it, and that unlocks us the silver scale. Doing that is very important for the run. At least if we want to not do any glitches, which we don't want to do. We're getting that. The point where I don't trust my backwalk angle, and really don't want to get hit by the keys. And I fell down. Oops. Fell down again. Bang. Not going well. Dang. That's really unfortunate. So now I'm going to have to be a little careful because I only have one stick, and without getting a second one, or getting a shield I suppose, we could be in some trouble. But there is a backup here, so it's not all that bad. We just have to be a little more careful and probably quite slow in the next one. Also missed the bomb though. Now we gotta hack and slash these guys because you can do a tiny little jump there to get to this chest slightly faster. That doesn't save much time at all, but I like doing it. I found it this morning. Now here I need to equip a couple things, that being bombs. And I'm going to start opening up the eyes of the Dodongo. Apparently I'm not very good at it. Alright, got a shield back. That one's pretty annoying. Those eyes even open? Yes, I do. Okay. Dang. I was hoping he wouldn't get me, but he did. Oh well. For anyone, the uninitiated, I was not meant to die there.
So correct me if I'm wrong here, but did your shield change from a Deku shield to a Hylian shield?
I equipped a Hylian shield
Okay.
because I bought one at the market. This is the
Right.
entire reason I bought the Hylian shield, is because otherwise I would lose my Deku shield, and that would be really unfortunate. Now, it's also really unfortunate because in one of those pots down there, there is actually a... oh, what's the word? A fairy. And I was very close to being able to get the fairy, which is why that was extra unfortunate I died there.
We just got to see Link be a turtle a few more times.
Now we're going to get rid of that hiding shield, we're going to go back to the regular shield, because now we need power crouch stab, which I suppose is another thing to mention. We can't use power crouch stab when using the Hylian shield, because as a child, Hylian shield is too big for us to use as on one hand. So now, with our jump slash stored, we can kill the big Dudong. Well, that wasn't very hard.
The Gorons can eat their rocks again.
At long last. No Goron will go hungry anymore. Now, Darunia tells us that the boulder being there was the fault of Ganondorf, which, at this point, seems really quite typical of him. Maybe he should try being nicer to people, and then they will allow his evil empire to rule all.
A different approach, perhaps.
And now he gives us another Chaos Emerald, and we can almost defeat Dr. Robotnik.
Wait, what game is this?
Ocarina of Time. Don't you know the secret Dr. Robotnik boss fight?
Of course.
Don't mind the fact that you have to do an SRM setup to get there. That's just the dev's fault for allowing us to do that. They should really patch it in out. With the big tree destroyed, or dead, and the big cavern is now free of all Dudons, we've now got to go save the big fish.
Well, those are all great causes, saving the forest, saving the Gorons, and now hopefully saving a fish. Just a reminder that we are raising money for an even better cause, Planned Parenthood. And if you'd like to donate, the links are in chat. And we've got some really fun incentives going on as we gallop through Hyrule Field.
Now Kapora Gabora tells us all about why we should go visit the Zoras, but he doesn't give us an option to hear his text for the second time, which is a welcome given since I don't really want to listen to him talk. And for those of you who are just remembering your casual playthrough of this game, you might remember that the greatest cutscene to ever have blessed this planet is about to come up. So I say about, we've still got a few minutes to go. Now I play a little song and the waterfalls part. Now we see the big fish place. This is where all the fish live. That was a thrilling milling game. And now that that's done, we need to go and get our reward, which is the silver scale. Now, this is an item that's very almost skippable if you don't fall off the ledge there, which I have genuinely never seen happen. Got to the fish dude, and he's like, wow, that was amazing. I'll give you this scale. Our magical scale manages to make you go deeper in the water. Is completely weird, but oh well. Now we swim through this super secret entrance, and now we go to the super secret Lake Hylia. And wow, there's a bottle there. I need a bottle, because I need a fish. I'll open big fish. Jabby jabby. But there's a letter inside. I wonder who needs this letter. Alright, here we go. King Zor is shocked that we managed to find his daughter's letter, and now he's going to pass so that we can go by. And I think it's probably best for me to stay quiet in this cutscene, just so you can enjoy the beauty of it.
Now everybody shuffle along with him.
That was just beautiful. Now we get the fish, and we head to go open the bigger fish.
Fishception, if you will.
Would you believe it? When we opened the fish to find a fish, there's a fish inside the fish.
No way.
Yes way. We don't know if there's a fish inside that fish, but maybe that's a story for another day.
I'm gonna get lost in the fish sauce.
Now you'd think you'd have to go right up to Jabba Jabba to give him the fish, but you can do it basically anywhere on this platform, and he doesn't seem to care. Now the fish goes in, and unfortunately so do we. Ah! Now we're in Dungeon 3, inside Jabu Jabu's belly. Now this dungeon... I'd say this one's pretty interesting. Almost Zelda tradition that this one ends with a big eel. Is it an eel? Or it might just be a monster. I like to think it's an eel, because then it makes sense.
Lore accurate.
Now that we've talked to the fish inside the fish, we're going to go talk to them again, but down here. And for some reason, Ruto here has a really big talking radius, so you can target another enemy, which normally doesn't allow you to talk to NPCs, and you can still talk to us, so you just end up with weird camera angles where it looks like you're talking to a berry. If you spin around 3 times with Ruto, you get infinite good luck. That's what I was told. I don't know if it's true. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to smash those, and I'm going to remember that they don't give nuts. Boss of this dungeon, and I guess in a way the final boss. Interesting. Now we're going to break that switch. That will stay down forever. And now we're going to go into a room where you might be familiar with this trick if you've ever heard people memeing about this game. I'm going to also regret myself because I'm going to realise that I forgot to set our crouch stab. I'm going to throw Ruto away when going to this chest because normally there's a trick you can do here. I suppose it's just a funny thing with chest mechanics where if you drop Ruto on the chest, it'll vibrate up and down constantly. This is called Vibruto and it's very funny, but it's also very bad if you need Ruto in any rooms after this, since if you leave Ruto there, you can't be picked up, so she's basically stuck in that room, and if you leave a room and re-enter, she'll stay stuck, or she'll go back to the entrance where she normally is, right at the bottom, and that can lose several minutes. For the sake of trying not to lose the run, I'm going to keep Ruto. Now that we've got the boomerang, we can kill these big tentacles. This is exactly what I'm going to be doing. There's 3 tentacles, and all 3 of them unlock different parts of the dungeon. If you enter that door there, just before the tentacle dies fully, you can skip watching this chest animating cutscene, and you can save a few seconds. But I wasn't able to do that, so I'm going to have to watch the cutscene. All 3 tentacles gone, this door's now open, and now we can get this room, and this is the big tentacle. This one guards the entrance, or not the entrance. This one guards the area to the big octo, which can be skipped using a damage boost, but since I haven't learnt the damage boost and for the sake of keeping this run pretty similar to how it was before, this is still required. Now we find the Zora Sapphire, which wasn't actually at the end of the dungeon. It was just lying on this random platform. That's stupid.
Where'd she go?
Oh no. Big Octo. I'm going to stun this guy with a boomerang, then we're going to wait for him to do a little turn. Oh. That is not meant... Generally speaking, when you stun the Big Octo, he should go in the exact opposite direction to the one he was originally going in. So I don't know why he came towards me there, but that was pretty stupid. Just going to check these pots at the back of the room, because I can't remember if any of these... Okay, yes, there are. That Octo there specifically is one of the dumbest in the game, and it's objectively one of the worst things that Nintendo's ever put in any room, ever. Maybe I'm just mean. Now that we've defeated the Big Octo, we can lower this platform, and this allows us to get this box here. And fall down. Wow. Well, considering how this run has gone... Nice to... Oh dear. Well, it might be a minute. But in theory what happens is you go up and you bring the box across, but... Fortunately that seems to not be the case. Now we hit that weird uvula there, and now... Go... And we can meet the big electric thing. This is Baronade. This is the final boss. And as with every final boss, it's got to be hard. Baronade has 3 phases. The first phase is the one with the tentacles attached, and you need to get all 3 tentacles down. The second phase is the one where the little... I don't know. little membrane things, they come off and they start moving around. Then there's the third phase where they come off again, and then there's the final phase. So I guess there's 4 phases. And now these guys are normally quite annoying. You have to chase them around the room with a boomerang. But in the case of these, you can just use nuts. Or in that case, miss. Missing is unfortunately also an option. Okay. Now normally you don't get damage locked there, so that's fine. So in some categories, you have to get Baronade into a specific position in the room, because there's a trick known as the Dongo Door, where you can use a wrong warp from Baronade's room to go to Dongo's cavern, specifically the boss door for the Dongo. This is glitchless, of course, so we don't do such nonsense as wrong warps. Now, with this boss defeated, we can ignore the heart container because we won't be taking any more damage over the rest of the run, and we can go talk to our best friend, who isn't actually dead, she was just waiting for us. Now we get the third and final spiritual stone, and now we can go and save the world or something. That's a lie. This is the... After you get all 3 spiritual stones, this unlocks the trigger at Hyrule Castle for the Ganondorf and Zelda cutscene to play. This means that we can then get the Ocarina of Time and finish our run. We're going to save warp here because getting out of Zora's Domain and all the way down to Hyrule Field is a lot slower than just going from Link's house through Kokiri Forest.
He forgot something at home. He needs it before saving the world.
Oh dang, what'd I forget?
Good question.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? Oh, no. He needs his keys for Epona cage so he can get the horse or something and save the world.
Yes.
Wow, it's kind of grey out. Maybe it's gonna rain. Oh. Now we have a long cutscene.
Another one.
Yes, another one. There are a lot of cutscenes in Glitchless, funny enough. Oh look, there it is. Maybe we can catch him, save him time. Damn, we miss. Oh no, it's Ganondorf. Fortunately, with our power crouch stabbing, we can beat him easily. See, Link's even got his shield up. He's ready to go. Dang. Turns out fighting magic with a sword doesn't work very easily. Or at least, apparently it's not meant to. Fortunately, if Link was wise and brought his bottle out, he could have easily defeated Ganondorf there and then, saving the world from all of the misery it's about to happen. But we don't care about that misery. Foolish Link.
Yes, don't bring a sword, but bring a bottle.
Alright. Unrelated, but time is now coming up very soon. And about now.
GG.
That was a run.